Hey YouTube, welcome to another episode. I'm Louis, I'm back at Vauxhall West, and this time we're going to be learning all about foot switching. So this is the second part in our footwork series. Last time, if you haven't watched it already, we learned all the basics of the different parts of the shoe and how to place them carefully on the holds, with some good tips on how to practice that. This time we're going to learn all about foot switching, so let's get to it. So foot switching is something we'd really often do when we're climbing, just to change our balance position. If we can feel that, oh, I'm going to let go of this and I'm going to swing unless I have something pressed against the wall on the other side of my body, then we might want to foot switch. My first bit of advice though would be check if switching feet is the easiest way to maintain balance, because switching feet can be, as we'll find, it's a little bit fiddly, it can be an opportunity to slip, it takes a little bit of time, and there are other options of balancing around the wall without switching feet, so let's just have a very quick look at those first. If I'm in this position, I might want to switch feet, because when I take my left hand off, whoa, I lose balance straight away. Whereas if I switch feet, I can press my right foot against the wall and hooray, okay, cool, now I can balance. So that would be the main reason that I switch feet in this position. But like I was saying, there are some other options. I could step through or step back. And so long as I've got something pressing against the wall in that position, that maintains my balance just as well. Other options switching feet would be just making space on the hold and sharing it. So I might not need to switch feet at all, I might just be able to match feet instead. But if there's a time where you think, no, I can't flag back and forth, I can't just have both feet sharing the hold, I am actually going to have to switch feet now. Now let's look at all the different ways we can do that. Okay, so we've decided we wanted to foot switch. Let's go through all the different ways we can do it. And like I was just saying, none of them are right or wrong, they're just appropriate for different methods. I find certain methods are more commonly appropriate for different circumstances. Let's go through all of them though, because they're all going to be useful at different times. I'll start with the one that I think is the most commonly done by newer climbers and long-term the least useful, but let's look at it anyway. So the most common one you see beginners doing is just jumping off and jumping on. It works, obviously, like I am switching feet, but it's not that accurate. It takes a fair bit of energy, and if the foothold's small, it's really hard to do this method. So that's option one, would be just jumping on and off the hold. Option two, we can call this one the magician's tablecloth, where we put the foot on top and then whoop, whip the other foot out. Again, like it works, I've managed to switch feet, but you can mistime it and pull the foot out of position accidentally. It also, again, takes a bit of energy because you're having to pull your weight up into the wall to do it. So it works, but it's not ideal. Okay, option number three, we can have just walking up the wall and smearing and switching feet that way. You can often do that on volumes as well. So if I had one foot on, and if the wall was good enough, or if the volume had enough friction, I could smear, and then get back down. I mean, that's worked a treat, but I'm having to do 3 steps, when ideally I kind of want to do it a little bit neater than that. So this is my favorite method, but it takes a little bit of practice because it can be a little bit fiddly. So if I have my left foot on the hold, right in the center, if I swivel it to the side, it makes a fair bit of space on the hold. Enough space that I can put the outside edge of my other shoe onto the hold. I'm not standing on top of it like that, I'm turning my ankle loads and putting the outside edge on, and then I can roll it into position. So then I swivel to the side, outside edge on, and roll it on. Yeah, I'll just show it from, in fact, I'll take the shoes off and show it clearly on the floor. Just to be really, really clear what I was doing, because I want to show this in a lot of detail. Like I said, I'm not standing on top of it and doing the magician's tablecloth technique. I'm swiveling to the side, turning my ankle loads and placing the outside edge of my shoe on the hold, and then rolling into position. You know that bit at the start of Indiana Jones where he like switches yeah, it's that, it's like that. I think it's the most accurate, most energy efficient method of switching feet. For me, it's the one that is consistently the most useful, and if you do get well enough practiced with it, you can also do it without really looking, because you can feel what you're doing all the way through it, whereas with all those other techniques, wouldn't be able to do that without looking. So practice all of them for sure, but this one is the most complicated and the most useful, so this is the one I'd recommend practicing the most. So there we go. Those are all of my tips for switching feet. First, check if you actually need to switch feet or not. Maybe you can step through, or maybe you can just share the foothold instead. If you do need to switch feet, there are a ton of different options. Practice all of them because they'll all be useful in different circumstances. And then, hey, prepared for anything. So if you haven't already, watch part 1 so that you learn even more about how to place your feet. Keep an eye out for the other parts in our footwork series, and like, subscribe, comment, follow. That's the same thing, isn't it? And click the join button. Everyone loves to click the join button. I'll see you next time, folks. Bye. Bye. Bye.